Great. So could you tell me, I guess, how might Western Balkan countries better take advantage of their diaspora populations?
As you probably know, diaspora in Western Balkans is pretty huge. I mean, we have some conservative assessments. We're talking about 6 million people at least. Part of it basically fled during the conflicts in the 90s, but then afterwards you had different waves of people actually leaving the Western Balkans. So now we actually have quite a lot of very talented and very skilled people out there somewhere. But what we haven't really done is to try to map out what these people are doing, what are their networks, where they live, what kind of jobs they're doing, what's the academy, what's the IT sector. And once we would have a whole picture, we would actually be able to use some of the assets of diaspora that exists at the moment.
What do you view as the potential for EU-led circular migration programs, and what might be the greatest obstacles to such programs being implemented?
These programs will be absolutely essential, especially because at the moment what you have is damaging economies of all the countries in the Western Balkans, plus Croatia probably to some extent, because although it entered the EU in 2013, it still experiences really high waves of immigration. What we don't have is this mechanism that will connect people or actually provide portability or benefits between the region and the other countries in the Western Europe that would enable them to go back and forth. And that would be, I think, the key when they have a possibility to go somewhere, to get skills, to get exposure, to get everything they want, basically, but have a possibility to anchor themselves back in the region or do some pieces of work that they're interested in.
How have you viewed, has emigration or brain drain entered the public debate both in Western Balkan countries as well as within the EU? Are people kind of working to address this issue, and are people talking about it or addressing it in a systematic way?
I'm afraid not. I mean, it's definitely an issue because it has become so big and so prominent that it's a top issue. Whatever you start discussing, you will end up eventually with immigration. So it's basically recognized as such, but it's not. It didn't enter debate in this policy level sort of way, in a sense that policymakers are still not discussing ways to address it, ways to openly speak about it or open up debates about it, but also how to use some of the resources that we already discussed. So diaspora would be one of those. So it's kind of recognized as an issue, it's recognized as a problem, but it still hasn't entered the policy debate in a way that it should be addressed, basically.